Evening. I'm Heather Armstrong.
And I'm Dustin Lukey. You likely already know tomorrow is the day to voice your vote in this midterm election.
For the past couple of months, News 19 spoke with people in the Coulee Region about today's political climate and what they're claiming the U.S. is becoming. And they say it's increasingly politically polarized.
And News 19's Bowen Kidrovich is digging deeper on what residents believe needs to change to have more civil political conversations.
Everybody's so polarized, you just can't talk about it. It's not a country anymore, it's a party.
I never thought they could get worse, but every political season, it's getting worse and worse and worse. More just polarizing and more just negative.
Throughout the years, the ability to meet common ground has been harder to achieve politically. Each person we spoke to believes it has been more difficult to have conversations about politics, including with friends and family.
My husband, we've been together about 30-some years, but we've been married about 20-some years, but we don't talk politics.
I feel it has been more difficult to discuss unless you're able to find people that are willing to be open to discuss.
In 2014, a study conducted by the Pew Research Center found that 27% of Democrats view Republicans as a threat to the nation, and 36% of Republicans view Democrats as a threat to the nation. Some believe the consequences of the divisiveness has been leading to more politically motivated violence.
It's definitely gotten more violent. Not saying like what those people are doing, like I get where they're coming from, but I also think like there are better ways to approach it than vandalism or violence.
With a strong political divide, political science professor Dr. Tim Dale weighs in on what could possibly cause polarization.
There's a lot of different factors. The kind of factors where people see that politics matter makes a difference. So when there are economic crises or crises of a virus that spreads across the world, usually get polarization when people have different opinions about things that matter to them. And then you also get polarization when there are candidates who aren't interested in compromising.
Some people said the dialogue between candidates has become more aggressive when speaking about their opponent, leading to polarization.
I definitely see like commercials for like the running campaigns, and they definitely do like not attack, but like they do have a lot of negative things to say about the other competitors, and I find it a little uneasy.
And some have growing distrust in political candidates.
You have to do your independent research to see if this candidate, what their ads say is true, versus that candidate, what their ads say is true. You can't just take what they say on the commercials because there's no truth to it.
Some saying that polarization occurs outside a political campaign.
What do you think causes like political polarization?
Media, honestly, especially the national media. I feel like they definitely drive people one way or the other, and social media.
The way conservatives and liberals receive political information differs from one another. According to a study done by the Pew Research Center, claiming conservatives express greater distrust than trust in major news sources measured in the survey. At the same time, 88% of consistent conservatives trust Fox News, and liberals express more trust in major news outlets but are less unified in their media loyalty.
There's no universal source for the truth anymore. I mean, back in the 60s and 70s, everybody agreed that Walter Cronkite on CBS Evening News would tell you the truth. And New York Times was reliable and Washington Post was reliable. And you don't have that agreed upon source for truth anymore.
However, both parties follow accounts on social media that align to their views.
Social media has done a number of wonderful things in our society and technology as well. But I think it's also definitely coarsened the political debate. You know, people get in these chat rooms with people who feel the same as they do, and it feeds on itself, and you don't get differing views.
Everyone has the right to their own opinion, but each person we've spoken to agrees it is time for the conversations to become a little more civil.
Listening, empathy, realizing that we don't know everything. The experiences that we have does not guarantee us the discussion card to know how the other person feels, because all of us have different experiences.
We try to find common ground, even if you're going to disagree about how we should get somewhere, to find an agreement about what it is we could be doing. And then the second part is just being comfortable with disagreement. It's okay to get together with someone for a meal or a drink and not agree with them on everything.
Some say not to view each other as a party, but as Americans that all want the same thing.
We all have our opinions, but there needs to be something that's for the better of the country and not just one party's thinking that this is the best.
We get along, kind of live like 9/12 back in 2000 when right after 9/11, and just everybody get along. We all want the same thing, right? We all want to be free. We all want good economy. We want the American dream.
Well, Tim Dale said a good way to learn more about a candidate is just to go directly to their campaign website to see what they stand for.
And he also adds that you can also learn more about policy positions and leadership style by watching candidates debate. And we do have a collection of those debates you can still watch by going to WXW.com.